cute.
Yeah, this holds shots.
Oh my
If you want to
God.
take some shots.
I love it.
Yeah.
I thought it just was like demonstrating how you can give yourself a lobotomy.
Nah.
I was like, oh my God, hands on.
Nah, you could take some shots if you want.
Oh, I love it. No, it's okay. I have my
You can have as much candy as you want.
gobble cup, my haunted cup of Hennessy over here. I will take a stab into some candy at some point.
Take anything you want. Pick your poison.
Right now?
No, I'm saying whenever you want. Just pick your poison.
Okay, I'm gonna have a celebratory Twix at some. No, you know what? I'm gonna casually nibble on some M&Ms.
What would you say is your favorite candy from here?
My favorite is the Twix. Yeah, I'm gonna do a Twix.
Yeah, all right, cool.
Twix, honorable mention to white chocolate Kit Kat, or half and half, whatever this is.
It's white chocolate Kit Kat.
White chocolate?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Yeah, Snickers are good, but I like Kit Kat and I like Twix. Those
Snickers,
are my
hot take, least favorite on the table.
two. It used to be like that, but today I had them and it was so fire.
It
I had
reinvigorated it.
I had like 3 of them.
And it's a good way to get protein in too. Peanut M&Ms, pretty
I
good.
guess.
Snickers and regular M&Ms are probably tied for my least favorite. There you go. Official Brittany Brave ranking top Halloween candy.
Now we know.
Now we know. So there's no confusion. That's it.
So today we got Brittany Brave in the house, in the building, the Miami Hustle. You already know. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being out here.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
We almost died tonight.
We almost did, but you know, it's all good. We're
But
blessed.
we're here.
We're blessed. We're protected.
Here. We had an emergency alarm go off in the building for literally 15 minutes, and we were just like, nah, nothing's coming for us. That's it.
We
just
stayed
wrote it
strong.
out.
We stayed mentally strong.
Yeah.
We sipped on our drinks.
That
Stayed in I would say like Zen mode, you know, not panicked. Mm-hmm. And we're good.
Then we saw a fire truck and we panicked for a minute and a half.
Yeah. That was pretty crazy. I mean, the world is pretty crazy nowadays, so
Well, yeah.
kind of sounded like The Purge. That's actually exactly what it would sound like. Mm-hmm. But we're here.
Over here, we survived. We
So-
persevered. Remember the other day when they had a government alert go off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
The government alert, like that was creepy to me.
You never know nowadays.
Literally, because it was like, oh, it's just a test and it's just a national alert going off at 2:20, and I was like, why? Like my brain went to like, why now? Why do they need to know that a national alert works?
I know. Well, first of all, because there's war going on.
True,
And then also, there's an election coming up.
Yeah.
So that's why I think something crazy is about to happen.
That's exactly what I mean. Like,
And-
I was like, oh, they're testing this for a reason. Yeah.
I think they're testing it because there's going to be a UFO that comes out that there's going to be a national emergency because they don't know what this unidentified flying object is to scare us, but I think they really know.
Can we talk about how, like, a couple months ago, there were legit aliens?
Yeah,
that
what
were
happened
here?
to that?
What happened to that? Like, I love... That's how fucked up America is.
Can we talk about how there was cocaine in the White House at one point?
And like we still
nobody
don't,
got
we're
caught?
not even like. Can we talk about murder hornets? Remember like murder hornets and everything, and like all of these things. That's how fucked up the world is. Like we're so like desensitized to everything that's happening that like, as of just 10 years ago, the thought of aliens touching down on Earth would freak people out into like a cold sweat and a panic attack. And there were movies made about it and nightmares and everything. And literally within the last 6 months, there was like, oh, there's been alien activity on Earth. Yeah. And we're all just like, well, listen, Taylor Swift went to an NFL game, so who cares?
For years, yeah, but...
like, we're like, that's priority.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the world is crazy nowadays. But if you ask me, I think we're the ones that are aliens. If you want to get deep. Well, if you think about it, what's the main...
Yeah, this isn't an immigration joke, right? No, I'm kidding.
No. Well, shout out.
Shout out, hey, me too, second generation. Shout out.
But no. So if you think about it, what's the main thing that the most powerful person wants to learn how to do nowadays? I would say like get to space, build a base out there like Elon Musk trying to get to Mars.
You think that's the most powerful thing?
Well, trying to start a civilization outside of this Earth. Don't you think that's like one of the most...
It's up there. I have a counter answer, but I want to hear your argument.
All I'm saying is eventually when they're able to make that a thing, and now there's people and civilization on Mars, like 500 years from now, like I'm not talking about 100 years, because that's like just one of our lives. I'm talking about 500 years from now, you don't think there's going to be a whole colonization in Mars?
I do think so.
So in that case, wouldn't they be the aliens in Mars if we're humans going to Mars? That's like...
Oh, I totally agree. I think they look at us as aliens.
So I
and
think
we look
at
them
one
as
point,
aliens.
way back in the day,
yeah,
we already did that. And that's how we ended up on Earth.
that's actually a pretty sound argument.
Well, if you think about it, like animals on Earth, they've been here for as long as us, if not longer, but they've never built anything and they've never done anything. They just survive. They are born, they reproduce, they survive, and
they just keep doing their thing. And
But
we
we're out
actually
here
kind of
building
took over
shit.
their area.
building shit, yeah.
Yeah, that's very true.
But we're going really deep.
Well, I want to
anyways.
make a counter argument for the one powerful thing. I agree with you that building your own civilization in another ecosphere or planet or galaxy is, yes, of course, a huge power move. But I think in the present moment, I think it's in the media. Like, I think, because, like, Elon Musk took over Twitter, and, like, there was, like, murmurs of Trump starting his own media company as well, too. And, like, TikTok and Instagram and China and their control over TikTok and all of this differences. So I think in the immediate sphere, in the immediate moment, I think taking over a platform
Right.
is like I think like control of the media and creating a platform that infiltrates everybody's like psyche and perception and is full of propaganda. I think that's the power move.
That's crazy because Elon Musk is also doing that. So shout out to Elon Musk.
Yeah, he scares me.
Yeah, he's really out here like taking over the media with Twitter, which was I think a huge power move, like you said. And then he's also trying to build something on Mars. But that's a whole nother conversation.
Whole other conversation.
Anyways, so are you...
Join us next week for our episode on NASA.
Yeah, so were you born and raised in Miami?
I was born in New Jersey, where I have a lot of family, but I was raised in West Kendall. I had all of my big moments in West Kendall. Like, went to school, grew up here, got fingered here for the first time, like all the major moments.
In West Kendall?
In West Kendall.
A lot of people got fingered for the first time
Who
in West
didn't
Kendall.
get fingered in West Kendall?
Yeah, shout out West Kendall.
Shout out West Kendall. It's the fingering capital of the world. Yeah, so I was raised here, and then I went to New York after college and did that for a couple years, and I worked in PR, and I started doing comedy for real, and then COVID kind of brought me back to Miami. And I'm happier than ever down here. I love Miami.
Nice. So you love Miami? You're one of those that like love it here? Because there's some that don't really...
I love it. I love it. I also think that what comes with loving something is seeing it for everything that it is and still accepting it. But I think a part of loving something truly and genuinely is calling it out on its shit and trying to make it better and being real about what it is, not abandoning it. But, like, so I love Miami, but there's a lot of parts of Miami that piss me off and frustrate me. But ultimately, I'm still here.
So what do you love about Miami, and what do you not like about it?
Everything and everything. No, I love, you know, I used to think Miami is a toxic place, and that's probably one of the things that I don't like about it, but... In comparison to other cities, believe it or not, it's one of the friendlier cities, I think.
That's interesting. I feel like many people would disagree.
Interesting. Okay.
Some people say that Miami's like where a lot of assholes are.
Well, there are a lot of assholes.
Yeah.
But I'm saying friendly is also not kind. Like, nice is not kind to me. So I think there's a lot of people in Miami that are friendly. It's an easy city to chop it up with people and talk shit and vibe and... whatever, there's a warmth, there's a hospitality there. There isn't as much of an ego. Like, I think, you know, people in Miami are a little bit easier to talk to and get to... I'm saying this as somebody that, like, I just, like, came back from shows in Boston. And people in Boston are mean. Like, I didn't like... And I'm a New Jersey New Yorker. And even I was like, these people are kind of cold and rude. And, like, assholes. And then I was like, oh, it makes Miami look like a world's different. So, I say that to say, like, there's a warmth to Miami on the outside, but there's definitely a superficiality. I've also never seen a city where, like, people will literally, like, use and abuse, rip it and dip it. Like, you're amazing to your face, talk shit behind your back. You know, start companies that don't have any money. They don't care if they don't pay you back. Like, I've also never seen a city like that, too. So... in that sense, I prefer New York, because New Yorkers might be a little more harsh on the outside, but like they'll get you, if they have a problem with you, they say it to your face. They care about your work, your delivery, your results, all, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
So in Miami, when it comes to comedy, is it easier or harder for you? Like the crowd?
It is both. Not to be a sellout and say both, but like, I still ultimately have a frustration with Miami crowds a little bit. Just because it's a young comedy city. I'm actually making a documentary about the Miami comedy scene and trying to capture the past, present, and future of everything in the scene, because we've never been known for comedy, and a lot of guys have shit on us about not having a good comedy scene, and there is some truth to that. But there's also a lot of great people and great clubs and great things that have happened down here, so I'm trying to kind of tell that story. So I'm mostly frustrated. I get frustrated with Miami crowds because since it's such a young comedy scene, the crowds tend to be rude. And they are just so accustomed to partying and making everything about themselves. And if it's not local, it's not Hispanic humor, it's not dirty, it's not crowd work. They don't want, like, I remember coming down from New York, and one of the first shows I saw in Miami, like, the comics closed the show with like lap dances. Like they were like handing out shots, playing, and like, yes, the crowd was loving it. Okay, yeah, they were having a good time.
Right.
But I was over here like, this isn't, like, I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was like, where are the jokes? Where's the writing? Where's anything, you know? So I hate it, but on the other hand, if you lean in, you can have a lot of fun doing comedy in Miami, because Miami doesn't take itself so seriously. So if you lean into the dirty and the local,
yeah,
and the crowd work, and you take a shot when it's handed to you on stage, or you just whatever, and you fuck around, you can also have a lot of fun. So for better or for worse, I think that makes Miami a really unique place to do comedy, for better and for worse.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
Shout out to you for doing a documentary. How long have you been working on that for?
Thank you. I came up with the idea early last year. I started pitching it, talking about it summer of last year. And right about now was when we started kind of mapping out the pre-production, production, and the game plan for it. And our first shoot, we had shoots in December, January, April, June, August, and September. And I'm in partnership with Digital Bodega. It's a New York production house. And it was interesting. I had worked with them on some things before, and I pitched them this idea, and they were into it, but like, I could tell they were 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And then they flew down in December, and we did 10 days of shooting. And the second they saw what was happening in Miami comedy, they were like, oh, we're in.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
they were
amazing.
like, yeah, we're in. There's something here. We have to capture
So
this craziness.
Walk me through this, because I've never, done a documentary. I have known anyone to do a documentary. So you had to pitch to a media company,
Yeah.
so that they could work with you on this documentary, and then
Yep.
you guys build it together. So are you like the director of the documentary? Or like
Yeah, creator, director, executive producer. I have production experience. I have a web series that's out, and I've been a PA on sets, and I've worked on things, but I've definitely never made a movie and never made a documentary.
That's
so
awesome.
Thank you. It's cool, because it's like with that, and with my new-ish job in radio, I'm like a student again. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm reading again, and I'm watching a lot of documentaries, and I'm asking a lot of questions, and like, I'm
that's
leaning
cool.
on my
Like,
production company. Yeah.
You're a real hustler, because I didn't know how involved you were in this documentary until now, but I see you traveling all the time with comedy.
Yeah.
So the reasons why I wanted to have you on the show is because you could be a comedian and be good at your work, but if you just stay local and just do your same show once a week, you're only going to be as big as that one show. But when I see you, and I've been following you for a while now, you're out here like all over America, and you're traveling nonstop. And you just told me off camera that you're mid-tour right now.
Yeah.
So
a tour that I booked on my motherfucking own.
Yeah, let's talk about that. How are you able to book a tour on your own, and how are you doing this alone, like when you're out there on these shows?
Yeah, I'm currently unrepresented. So I have an interesting perspective with this. So to go back to something that you said, about like comedians, if you're never leaving, you're only as good as that last show you did or that last whatever. I think that about everything. I think like the key to true success and becoming legendary and really making things that age well is getting comfortable being uncomfortable. Like putting yourself out there. I have gone in the red for my comedy career. Like, I'm only now, like, on the up financially. Like, I have, like, sacrificed a lot. I've gone balls to the wall. I would rather bomb for 20 minutes doing brand new material or bomb for 20 minutes in a city that I've never been in than go do 10 at the Improv that kills for the same people. Like, but that's always been my mindset. So, but I think that about, like I said, I think about comedy and not. I just think like the growth is always where you're uncomfortable. And you just miss out on so much that you don't even know about yourself if you just stay where you're at. So that's A. And B, yeah, I'm unrepped. So this whole tour came from certain comedy clubs approaching me, cities that wanted me back at their club or knew about me. I did a little bit of cold calling on my end as well too. And I had headlined the Dania Beach Improv in June, sold it out. I had done Miami the year before, basically sold out. And I was like, we gotta go.
Yeah, ride the wave.
We gotta ride the wave, and like we've done what we could do in South Florida for now. Now we gotta get the fuck out. And we have to like not get complacent and whatever. And it just was good timing. And yeah, I'm unrepped. I also think that artists don't need a team. Like, I don't think that's necessary. I'd rather have the right team around me than a full team that's not right. Yeah.
So how do you balance your time with basically being your own manager and then also working on your own comedy? Because you're, again, like, there's some comedians that are just funny but don't travel, but then there's also some people that are out here traveling a lot but aren't that funny. But you're
exhausting.
Hilarious.
Thank you.
So how is it that you balance that time of, like, I'm a great comedian and I work on my stuff, but then I also travel a lot and I'm doing this documentary? You're a real hustler, so shout out to you.
Send help. Send help or book me a vacation.
And what I respect too is that, like you said, you started off in the red, and that's like anything, because I love business and I'm always like business minded on how I can make moves, how I can make money. But I understand that you have to start in the red first. You can't just have an idea and then start making money. Like, if only life was that easy.
If only. And I mean, everybody has a different journey with everything, so I'm definitely not saying a blanket statement here, but I do remember when I was in New York, I was still running my PR business, and I was trying to do comedy professionally, like, actually, okay, I'm going to go for this and do it, and an older comic was like, let your PR business go, and I was like, but I'm so afraid, and money, and security, and he was like, you're never gonna... The chemistry in your brain switches when you have to do this to pay your bills. Like, it's gonna force you to really commit to this. And like, he was like, I literally lived with my parents in West Kendall after the pandemic. Like, I was doing New York and Miami, and then I gave up my New York apartment. I lived with my parents. I still don't have a car. I now have a Miami Beach apartment, but like, I'm only now on the up. But the thing with that is, like, as much as it sucks and on paper so much was all over the place, I knew the greater picture was working. Like, I was like, I'm focused, I'm getting funnier every time I'm on stage, opportunities are coming in, something here is happening. If I didn't feel that way, then I'd probably feel shittier about living with my parents or like not having as much money as I did in my early 20s. But I knew the bigger picture was working and that the money would come. You know what I mean? But I think that for everything entrepreneurial or creative, like, you deliver first and then the reward is after.
Yeah, that's what's most important.
Yeah.
Honestly. And what I tell people too is, like, at least this is the way that I am, and I feel that if you're following your passion, it's okay to hop from job to job and get the bills paid as long as you're pursuing your passion. Because
it's so hard.
It is hard, but what's easy is making, like, not to say it's easy, but staying at one job and making good money and being loyal to that one good job and putting all your time and energy into it is easier than to work on your passion and be broke. So it's that's what you're talking about, like, comfortability. Like, it's easy to stay in that job and then not really dedicate to comedy, but time is going to catch up to you and then you're never going to follow your dream.
That was legit me. Like, I worked as a music publicist. I was at Sony in New York City, and I was in my 20s, and I had an amazing credit score and a 401k and a studio apartment, and I hated it. Like, I hated it. And I was trying to juggle with comedy, and I always knew in the back of my mind I was always a performer and a comedian. And then it was like, I'm so glad I woke up one day and made that switch. So, like, it's the same thing like dating. Like, somebody could be really good on paper. Oh, they're hot. They have good money. They're whatever. But, like, does that person... fulfill you or challenge you? Like, is that the stuff that matters, or does that? So like that's how your career is too.
So when did you make that switch? Like, when you say you were flirting with being a comedian and you always knew you were meant to be a performer, like, tell me more about that. How did you know, and what got you into comedy? And
it's a huge lesson in how we lie to ourselves and deny ourselves. I'm sorry, lie to ourselves and deny ourselves, because I had been a performer first my entire life. Like, I was a dancer, actress. I love this. Every baby photo of me has me with a fake toy microphone and some costume on, like always putting on a show for my family. And I went into PR because I was scared. I was operating from scarcity. And I was like, I can't move to New York and not have a real job. So what can I study? What can I do that's safe and stable and secure? And I just had this moment one day where I was like, when I saw myself 10, 15 years in the future, it was on a stage or a red carpet or in a movie or just being an entertainer. And it wasn't being at a desk doing PR. And I just had this moment where I was like, well, then, like, when the fuck are you gonna do it? Like, I don't know. Like, it just, like, one day, like, real me spoke to society me, fake me, and was like, all right, cool. So what are you doing to get there? Because as of right now, you're not, you know? So it was a couple years ago. And I was in a really abusive relationship, which is a huge part of why I started comedy, and that ruined my life on a lot of levels. And I hated my job. I hated where I was living. And the only thing I ever knew about myself to be consistent and true was that I was a performer and I was funny. And those are the two things that always brought me joy. And those are the two things I was that when I was 2 years old. And I was, 28, 29, and I knew that if all else failed, I loved to make people laugh, I was funny, and I loved performing. So I just, when everything else goes to shit, you run to what you know is consistent and who you are, and that for me is what it was.
Yeah, I think that's important, to stick to what really truly makes you happy. And It's crazy that you say an abusive relationship is what got you to love comedy even more.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that was like your escape.
Yeah.
Would you go to comedy shows and that would be your escape, or would it be like being on the stage and like, or was it performing around your friends that gave you that, like, comedy is my thing, and I'm just gonna pursue this?
Yeah, it was interesting because when I was in that relationship, I mean, those relationships are very consuming, and there's abusive relationships on a lot of levels. I always tell people, like, if there's physical abuse, there's always emotional, and there's a lot of relationships that don't have physical, but it's very emotionally and mentally. They can be financially abusive. Lucky for me, mine was abusive in every way possible. So I wasn't doing comedy, and but I never stopped being funny or loving comedy. And what was interesting is, as much as he's like the worst partner I ever had, it was the best relationship for my well-being. Because even as bad as he was and everything that went down, he even always was like, I know I'm going to see you on TV one day. You really should do comedy. You're not doing what you should do. You're so fucking funny. Like, you need to, you should do stand-up, not improv. You should do stand-up. And that was like this is a man that tried to kill me. And even to this day, I'm like, thank God he still said that stuff, because so that's when I knew, but I wasn't doing it. And I just was like, so many people around me were like, you are so funny. How are you not doing comedy? And even the way I was talking about that relationship was funny to people. They're like, this is fucked up, but it's so funny. And then when everything else fails, you run to what you know, whatever that is. So, like, if you're down on your ass and you don't have money or whatever the fuck, your breakup, whatever is going on in your life, like, that's when you're your realest and your rawest, and your instincts will show you where you need to be. And at least for me, it was comedy. That's when I was like, I'm going to go to an open mic today and go talk about this shit. And then it was like, boom, the rest was history. So
That's what's up. That's amazing. You literally turned a negative into a positive.
Yeah.
And that, and like the universal law, is the most important thing. Like, the most power comes from turning that negative, because there's a lot of emotion and power in a negative feeling. And
Absolutely.
if you're able to turn that into a positive, like, it's always going to work out. And one thing I'll say about abusive relationships is like, shout out to you for, I'm assuming you're not in it anymore.
No. Long out of it. Yeah.
Shout out to you for getting out of it. And for anybody that's in an abusive relationship or thinks they are, like, I would say run. Like, get out of there as fast as possible, because emotions are something that some people don't know how to control. And if you're in an abusive relationship and you know it, then you need to get away from that and spend time with yourself and have the other person spend time with themselves as well. Mm-hmm. And that's really what's always best, because with these emotions, if there's already like toxic and energy in it, emotions could lead you down roads that like they might regret later, but it's too late.
For sure.
So,
and it's through my dating experience, with that relationship being for sure at the forefront, but I also had a pretty bad one right before that as well too. That was not physically abusive, but cheating, mental, he was a piece of shit. Like, it was a whole lot of, so I just kind of snowballed into like two.
Is it just me, or is like, doesn't everybody have that? Like, doesn't everybody have a toxic ass, bad, terrible relationship where they get cheated on, like maybe multiple times? Like, why is it that everyone goes through that shit?
Yeah, well, that's why I was like gonna, like 100%, like it's nobody, like, we always complain about how dating is so hard, and it's hard because there's no like playbook for it. Like, you can't watch a movie or read a book. There's no anything. And it's hard because, like, all of us are so human and have insecurities and want to be loved and have baggage and have... So there's no one rule book that's going to apply to you and apply to me.
Just to say, and also the rule book is not the Notebook, because I'm tired of girls telling me to watch the Notebook.
Oh, that movie sucks.
Exactly. It's terrible. Yo, this guy's crazy. Like, bro, within the first 5 minutes of me watching...
so cheesy.
Within the first 5 minutes of me watching that movie, this guy's hanging off a Ferris wheel. I'm like, toxic as fuck. Like, run. Get the fuck out of there. And that's how it starts. So I was already like, nah,
it's all bad. And it's like... Well, I say this to say, like, it's like... Nobody knows what they're doing with dating. And if we all just admitted that, it would be so much easier. Like, this shit is messy, and I don't know what you're thinking. I don't sometimes even know what I'm thinking. And like, the reality is, especially with abusive relationships, like, everybody comes with baggage. Every relationship, people have triggers, people have moments, people have insecurity, people, like, it is because we're all a product of all the experiences and people that have like come our way. And there's only one way to beat it. You either ignore it and you just act like it's not there and like you don't have things to work on and you push forward, or you admit that like you see what's happening with you that you need to work on. And that's half the battle, knowing you have shit to work on and you're not perfect. You can't even think about being in a relationship until you do that.
I agree. I think you have to work on yourself before, well, I mean, but like maybe this is why we all get cheated on at first, because we all start relationships when we're young. Like my first relationship was when I was in high school.
Yeah, same.
And then we all date throughout high school, and then college. College gets crazier, more temptation, more fucking wildness. So maybe that's why. But I feel like with relationships, like, I don't know, people, you have to fuck up sometimes to learn.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah. Mistakes happen. And it's I mean, that's like been like, for me personally, for like this year, it's been a huge lesson, like giving myself grace in a lot of ways, because I'm supremely hard on myself, like to the point where it has like affected my mental health, and I've snapped, and I've, and to the point where I can't even receive when I'm doing well. And I can't even see if I'm doing well or poorly objectively sometimes, because I don't even know. I'm just like so wrapped up in my own bullshit. So this year has forced me personally, romantically, and professionally into situations where like I have made mistakes. And I've had to learn to be like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm human, I guess. Like, there was no way out of it. Like, and it was so freeing to just be like, I'm sorry, I fucked up. Like, it's so freeing. And like, instead of like fighting it and just being like, you're right, I didn't know how to handle this, and I made a choice I shouldn't have. My bad. Like,
how's dating with comedians?
Like me dating other comedians?
Just in general. Like, you being a comedian. Are you looking for someone that's funny? Or do you not when someone's funnier than you? Or is it constant, like...
I definitely would need somebody who's funny, for sure. I want a sense of humor. I need to be able to laugh with somebody. More importantly, they need to like my comedy. I'm not even saying think I'm funny. They need to enjoy my comedy. Yes, think I'm funny, but like they need to enjoy my comedy. And I only say that because like I am a woman in a predominantly male field, and I have men, cut me down all the time. All the time. And like it's a constant. Like whether it's like I don't think she's gonna be funny, she probably fucked her way to get this, oh my god, another sex joke, not that good. They never give you your credit, no matter how many tickets you sold, no matter how hard you kill. It's always like
really, I didn't know that.
That's constant.
Damn.
It's constant, and it's changing.
So would you say comedy is like a man's game then?
It was, and probably still is, but it's changing. And it's changing because of a lot of amazing women like Jessica Kirson, Judy Gold, Michelle Wolf, Joan Rivers, Phyllis Diller, Amy Poehler, like all of these legends, you know, like before me that have like kind of like had to bust the fucking door open and be like, I'm hilarious, you're not going to treat me this way and I'm not going to take shit. That allows me to do it. But like, I say that because like, even more than that, I need a guy that can sit. I don't want somebody who wants to do comedy. I don't want somebody who wants a career in entertainment. I want somebody on the opposite end who can genuinely sit in the audience and sit back and be like, I think she's hilarious and I genuinely like what she does and admire it, and I have no desire to ever be on the other side of the microphone. Because I think that's the only way it's going to work. I've seen it. I fucked comedians. I've dated comedians. I deal with men day to day. And it's like, that is the only way it's going to work.
So what would you say is your type, other than a man that loves your comedy shows? Like, what else do you look for in a guy?
Trauma. No, I'm kidding.
Shit.
Yeah. I don't know. I like...
I had a question on IG when I posted that, just so you know. I have a couple.
Yeah, no.
So one of them was, would you ever date someone shorter than you?
No. How could they get shorter than me?
I don't know. That's
I'm 4'10", 4'11".
Yeah. So, do you look for tall guys, or does it matter?
Oh, are we going like physical type?
I guess whatever. Like, what would you say is something that you look for in a guy?
I don't think I'm like super picky physically. I do tend to lean towards like dark hair, dark eyes. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, shit.
I do tend to lean towards like dark hair, dark eyes. I like taller than... I am selfish with that. Like, I like tall. Tall enough. I like. But, I don't think... Physical doesn't matter. It's like, if you put all the guys that I've really liked in a line, they're probably physically a little all over the place, but, like, the vibe is... I don't know. It's about vibe and chemistry. And I don't care about money, but I care if he's passionate about something.
Cool.
You know what I mean?
That's
like,
nice.
I want him to have a...
No, that right there, that line, I like... He doesn't have to have money, but as long as he's passionate about something...
It's a so not a Miami line.
That's exactly. I was going to say, that's something that I don't hear too often, especially in here.
Because I, for the longest time, did not have money. Still kind of don't. But I was super passionate and hardworking and really good at what I did. Like, and I also, for me, like, my love language has never been buy me shit. That's just me. I can buy my own shit, and, like, you buying me shit isn't gonna make me like... It's just not gonna make me like you more. And if anything, it makes me uncomfortable, and I'm like, whatever. But I like a guy that's like... you have to have a good relationship with your family, or you have to at least have it be in a healthy place. I don't know. I feel like your lifestyles have to match. That's what I'll say. Like, I like to work out. I can never be with someone who couldn't.
You said you like to work out.
Yeah. So, I can never be with someone who doesn't.
Same. I feel you.
I don't need you to be ripped. I'm not going to nitpick your abs and your arms and stuff like that. But if I get up and go to the gym for at least 20 minutes every day and you don't, it might not be a match. I like to drink. If you don't, might not be a match. I don't know. Like, that's what I mean. Like, that's synchronicity there.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
And what's up with the schedule wise, from how busy you get? How are you able to balance like social life, like just literally being you and having fun, like taking that rest day, and then you traveling so much and doing all these comedy shows, and then also having a job? Because of course, like when we're going after our passion, we still have to put in hours to pay the bills somewhere.
Yeah.
So how are you able to like manage all that time?
I'm fortunate now that everything that I do for money is entertainment related. Nice. So that's awesome and exciting. I don't know how I do it. I wish I could give you an answer. But I will say, for the first time, I will pat myself on the back. Like, I'm doing it. I'm definitely doing the very best that I can. And I would like to think that everybody around me is like, no, but I don't think anyone's mad at me. I think I'm like balancing it. Like, I don't know how I do it. It's just, taking from here to give to here. It's like resource allocation all the time. And just, I think also like listening to yourself. Like, I just canceled, like, I'm doing a short film with two really good friends. And it's it's a horror film he's working on. And they're awesome and they're super talented guys. And we were going to shoot tomorrow for 5-6 hours. And I like literally had to send a text that was like, I can't. Like, and I canceled on, like, when I cancel, it's because I, like, need a second. Or I'm, like, because I say yes to everything, because in theory I want to, but then sometimes I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, hang on. And, like, I just had to be, like, and that was a decision that I had to make, like, yesterday and today. Like, I just listened to my body. I'm like, I can't be on set acting for 6 hours tomorrow.
For 6 hours, wow.
I was like, I love you guys. If you need to move forward and pick somebody else, I get it. No hard feelings. If you're able to schedule, and they were like, let's reschedule the next week. I'm like, amazing. Like, so I think it's also, you have to, like, whenever you listen to yourself, like, if I, like, come back and I see my friends a lot, then I'm like, I'm going to go to West Kendall and go see my parents. Like, but, I don't know how I do it.
How's that transition from West Kendall living out here by the beach?
It's like two different countries. Yeah. It's fucking crazy.
How do you like it so far?
I love the beach. I love Miami Beach. I feel like it's like classic Miami. Like, I love the Art Deco and the history, and it's the beach. It's like when everyone thinks of Miami, that's what they think of. So it is kind of cool to be a part of like a quintessential part. And also the beach is like a walking distance. It's amazing. Yeah. It's like great. But I spend a lot more time in West Kendall, even with this Miami, because I love, like, I'm super close to my parents, and home is still home.
Yeah, same.
So, like, I have this apartment. My roommate's amazing. He's awesome. He's a fabulous gay man, successful publicist. He's fucking a badass. He's a wonderful human being, and he's amazing. But, like, even sometimes I'm just, like, when I come back from traveling and I'm exhausted, like, I just want, like, my mom.
Yeah.
Like, I go to Kendall. Like,
for sure. The home-cooked meals are the best.
That's it. And my bed and my mom and a movie. Like, so. But I'm fortunate. Like, not many people can say they have two homes. And I do. So I'm grateful.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah. Shout out to the family.
Shout out to Karen and Tony and Nikki, my roommate. Love you all. They all make sure I eat when I forget to. All of them. Nice. It'd be like literally all of them. Even my roommate's like, did you eat? I made dinner. Eat.
Wow, yeah. Okay. No, that's like a family too.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. So, I'm grateful. It's a good problem to have. Yeah.
That's what's up. Tell me, how was it when you first, like, stepped on a stage to do your first comedy performance? How nervous were you, and, like, how much did you prepare for that moment? Was it like 8 Mile? Like, were you in the bathroom looking at yourself, hyping yourself up?
That's interesting. Was I?
Or did you just go out there and do it?
I'm gonna say the first time I did stand-up was, so I was, like, catapulted into stand-up. I have done a lot of, like, theater and improv and sketch, so I was in comedy, but I had never done stand-up. So it gives you a leg up, but they're very different. Like, they're two different scenes, like, completely, and two different processes and everything. I don't really remember the first open mics I hit. I guess they went well, or they didn't.
What's an open mic? Is that like a freestyle?
Yeah.
Like...
Open mic is anybody can do it. It's not a show. You're not getting paid.
Cool. So it's like karaoke? Like,
kind
grab
of.
the mic, see what's up?
You just get some... In New York, you have to pay to do it, and you get X amount of time. And if you're lucky, there's non-comedians in the audience. If you're kind of lucky, there's comedians in the audience. If you're not lucky, there's no one in the audience. But, like, whatever. And it's just... You just work your shit out. Like, if you just want to get on stage for the first time. So, I don't really remember my open mics with stand-up. But I remembered, because I had done so much improv and sketch in New York, I auditioned for something for New York Comedy Festival, and I got it. And it was, like, with TBS, and they were live streaming it. And it was me and, like, 9 other comics. And I just kind of got, like, thrown in. And they were like, oh, can you actually just do stand-up? 10 minutes, and I didn't even have like 5.
10 minutes of stand-up?
Yeah.
Damn.
And I didn't even have 5, but I was like, I'm not gonna not do this. So I like went balls to the wall, and I did like 40 open mics in a week.
Oh shit.
Like and you could do that in New York because they're everywhere. And I was just like, and literally by the end of the week, I kind of had 10 minutes. And it was terrible. Like when I look back at it, like thank God TBS, shout out TBS for deleting that show. It's not on their website or anywhere anymore. Thank God. But like I did remember feeling so like in control on stage, and I was like, this is awesome. Like,
do you remember the show that you killed it and you were like, yeah, this is for me? Like,
it was probably that.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, so you knew early on.
Yeah, because it's for someone's first show doing stand-up, like now I would look back and cringe and want to fucking kill myself, but like it went okay. And I will say then the next one was I auditioned at Broadway Comedy Club, and you had to bring a bunch of your friends to get stage time, and I got 5 minutes, and I did really, really, really well. And like it was consistent laughs, and the booker was like, we need to get you on like pro shows and oh my God and whatever. And I think maybe that was the night. The earlier show was the night that I was like, I want to do this forever. This is it. Like I've done improv, I've acted, I've danced, I've done musicals, but I was like, oh wait, no, this is it. Like when I did stand up. And then when I did that other show at the comedy club, and I like killed so early on. I was like, wait, I'm going to be fucking awesome at this. And that's when it was like, oh, I'm doing this. I'm good at this. So, yeah.
And how long have you been doing it now?
I've been doing stand-up 4 years, 3 to 4 years.
Nice.
Somewhere in there, yeah.
How far along on the tour are you right now? Like, are you mid-tour, coming up on the end, or just started?
We're halfway / towards the end. I've done Orlando, St. Pete, Naples. I'm forgetting one. Boca and Del Rey, if you want to count those as whatever. LA, New York. Where was I? Boston, Rochester, Tampa, Tempe's coming up, Iowa, Chicago, Memphis, Fargo, North Dakota.
Wow, how do you even know about these comedy clubs? Like,
you hear about them. Just by doing comedy, you hear about them, or you see people post that they do shows. You make friends with other comedians at festivals or when they come to your city or whatever.
Cool.
Yeah.
Where's your next show at?
Rochester.
Are you out, or is it here in Miami? Oh, you're out again? Damn.
Rochester this weekend.
Crazy.
Then Side Splitters, Tampa, and Orlando again, and then.
When you travel, is it mostly work? Or work and fun? You try to balance it, or since you're out there experiencing different cities?
I try. Lately, especially with my radio job, I have to kind of get in and get out. But I do. I try to get in a day earlier, and then that day earlier, like venture, explore, go to a nice restaurant, whatever.
What's your favorite city to perform at?
Chicago.
Really? Why is that?
It has all the urban city elements of a New York and a Miami.
Cool.
But it's Midwest, so they're like smart and polite. It's like and it's a comedy city. Like there's a bunch of comedy theaters and clubs. It's just a perfect balance.
What's the one city or the one like stage that you'd love to perform at?
I'd love to go to London or like the UK.
Nice.
I hear great things about Montreal. I think that's it. I've done all the other major cities in America, like LA, New York, Austin, Denver. I've done those. So I would say now, yeah, I would love to do the UK in some capacity or do Montreal.
Maybe you can get, like you were saying, you're going to look for a manager. After this tour, you get a manager and just go out there.
I'm having some conversations now with some managers. We're seeing how it goes. They're great. So we're going to see how it goes.
That's what's up.
And they're going to hopefully get me the agent.
The agent?
And put me in touch with the agent, yeah. But I've seen it when I worked in music PR, and I see it now as a comedian. Like, you could really do it all on your own. So, like, don't rush it and make sure you find the right people around you.
How has that been, finding the right people around you?
In Miami, it's been hard.
Yeah.
Like, in general. Like, I've been burned a lot in Miami. Like, really fucked over. People talking a lot of shit. People that you kind of thought were friends, and
So
then
it's just like trial and error.
trial and error. I think I have I either have two modes, so I'm trying to just ride the middle now. Like, I'm either like super welcoming and trusting, or I could be way the fuck cold and like shut off. And I really don't want to be either. So I'm like now in a process of my life where I'm like walking it back and trying to like, okay. But also, you don't really know with people, like, sometimes. Like, I had a friend in comedy that I loved her, and I thought we were super tight, and then last couple of months, some weird remarks, like, and then before you know it, you're like, I don't know if this person really is a friend. Like, I don't know. Hang on. Like, that's kind of weird that they said that or did that. So, that's just life. You just gotta, like, keep pushing forward and focusing on not people. You're not focusing on people, focusing on you and your shit and being really good at what you do.
I feel you.
And then the right people will end up staying around you. I have to believe that's true. So.
No, yeah, it is. I mean, shout out to you because you're really doing this on your own.
Thanks.
Like, from what I've heard, you've been doing this on your own. You're still doing it on your own, and even now, you're still like very aware of who's around you. So that's.
I'm more aware now. So watch out, bitches. Watch out,
yeah,
fuckers.
I feel like that's important, especially in this city.
Yeah.
And what would you say? We're coming up on time, so I like to ask everyone, what does Miami mean to you?
That's like, such a loaded question.
As a person, as a comedian, just
Miami.
Especially you, because you've traveled in different cities, different places. So being from here, like.
Miami means potential, I think. For me personally, moving back here could have and was devastating for a little bit to have left New York and come back to Miami, but I didn't even know I recognized, and I'm glad I recognized the potential I had to grow as a comedian in Miami and the potential that this scene has and that this city has. So I think Miami is potential and growth and hope and opportunity right now. There's so much of it everywhere. I just hope we're not idiots and we won't fuck it up.
Well, I think you're doing a great thing with the documentary too.
Thank
so
you.
It's all part of the process.
Thank you.
And what would you say, like, last question, I guess, any advice for up and coming comedians or somebody that's like watching this and
Don't
thinking
do
about
it.
oh shit, I was gonna say someone thinking about doing it, like any
Do not
words
try
of advice?
it. No, always, it's so cliche, but like stay true to yourself and make comedy that you're really proud of. And always know where you're at in the process. I think that's really valuable for comedians specifically, but for everybody. Like, stay humble, but more so, like, have a good sense of the game in the industry and, like, know where you're at. Know what you're ahead of and what lies ahead of you. Know who you aspire to be. You're not there yet, but you will be. Know where you were and who you can help and foster. I think knowing where you're at in the game helps you play it better. So.
Nice. Well, we're going to keep following you. Everyone, you can let them know where to follow you, where
Brittany
to find
Brave
you.
On Instagram, OnlyFans.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
You got an OnlyFans?
Yeah, I do.
What type of, you got like jokes in there or what?
It's a little bit of everything.
We got some time. You want to talk?
No.
It's
PG-13. It's PG-13. It's a little rated R. It's okay. No, it's
Let's just say all the way rated R so people could, see what's up.
NC-17, full butthole on OnlyFans.
Yeah. All that.
I'm Brittany Brave on everything, and come see a show. And yeah, keep supporting comedy in Miami.
That's what's up. Until next time.
Until
Appreciate
next
your
time.
And that's it.
Yay, that was so awesome.
Yeah, it was chilling.
Thank you. I had a lot of fun.